now.
Yeah, we just don't need
Good.
Sometimes it's just like in the Army, we used to drop test our radios. You just got to bang them up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so
right, so
level's good, and we can turn it over to Jack then?
Yeah, absolutely.
need these.
All right, I'm gonna run this intro.
All right, hold on.
Jack, we're going to run a short intro so the screen will go out, and then when we come back on, I'll be doing the introduction, okay?
Okay, quick question before you get started. Are you hearing this audio in the background? Because this audio is on through the speakers on the computer.
I'm not hearing any echo or anything. I'm hearing you fine.
Okay, so just let her go?
Just let it go.
Yeah, I'd leave it like it is. Jack, give me a short count, like 10, 1, 2.
Test 1, 2, check.
Okay.
All right, here we go, guys.
All right. Well, welcome in, everyone, for episode 8 of For the Good of the Game live stream. I want to say a special thanks to our sponsors, Bluegrass Orthopedics and Mingy Beef Jerky, our owner/founder of Prep Spin, William Moorfield, who's going to be my co-host tonight. And we have a very special guest. We're here to celebrate youth and really introduce a new player to the game. So I want to give everybody a little background on our guest. 10-year-old Jack Centner is the host of the Paradox of Sports podcast, which he presents with his partner, Uncle Kevin. Jack just finished the 5th grade and will be entering 6th grade at Corwin International Magnet School in Pueblo, Colorado. Jack is building his resume in sports, having played 6 years of baseball from T-ball up through 10U Little League, 4 years of flag football, and 5 years of basketball. So even as a young host, he's already a well-rounded multi-sport athlete. Maybe even more impressive are his academic achievements. In 4th grade, he was the Nodic math team winner and National Honor Roll student in the spring semester, 4th and 5th grade spelling bee winner. He was first place district and Southern Colorado Regional STEM Fair in chemistry and biochemistry. He was a team member of the National Academic League that placed second in the city and was the team's second highest scorer. And he continued that success this past year in 5th grade as the Nodic math winner and National Honor Roll student fall and spring semesters. Honorable mention in district and Southern Colorado Regional STEM Fair, this time in Earth and Space Sciences. And he was the team member of the National Academic League that placed first in the city, where he was the team's high scorer. So, Jack, that's a pretty impressive resume you've built up at such a young age. Welcome to the show tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
As you know, William Moorfield is our producer. That's all his. You can tell he's sitting in the King of Stream pit there with all the tech gear. He's the guy, the brains behind this operation. So I want to start off. William and I are going to kind of bounce back and forth and just have a little chat with you tonight. But I wanted to give you a chance to kind of tell us. I know that Kevin, who co-hosts the show with you, is a friend of your dad's. Tell us a little bit about how the idea for the podcast came about.
Well, it all started when I was doing a mock draft for the NFL Draft 2020, and then my dad posted a picture of it. Uncle Kevin replied and then suggested that we started to do a podcast, and that's where we are today.
That's awesome. Now, have you guys known each other for quite a while?
I'm not sure. He lives in Northeast Wyoming, so.
Oh, okay. So you guys are not located in the same. I think I knew that. I think your dad shared that with me. So he's been friends with Uncle Kevin for a while, and you guys just thought this would be a pretty cool idea.
Yep.
Now you started off. Do I recall correctly? You started off with a different name for the podcast, and if so, why did you decide to switch it?
Well, the first name of the podcast was called The Tank, but after we found out that another podcast was using that same name, we changed it to The Paradox of Sports.
And what is it that you want to try and focus on? I know that your dad shared with me that you have a real love for sports statistics and analytics, and I've watched several of your episodes. I saw where you did the draft analysis, which I thought was very impressive. Is that just something that comes naturally for you? You're just inquisitive about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it comes naturally to me. I've always had a knack for anything and everything sports, including some of the lesser known sports like lacrosse and rugby. So I wanted to get deeper into that, and I've been doing that since I was around 7 years old.
That's awesome, William.
Jack, how did you learn about the technology to start your own podcast? Is that something Dad helped you with, or is that something you just kind of been Googling and figured out how to do it?
Well, I've been getting help from both my dad and Uncle Kevin. Like, Uncle Kevin bought the mics for us, while my dad has helped with all of the computer audio and things like that.
Yeah.
I noticed on a couple of the episodes you guys chose to use a different background. Are you doing those with Zoom, just using some of their artificially projected backgrounds, or what?
Yeah, for like a couple episodes I used the artificially projected background, but then we found some own on the web, and I've kind of stuck with our logo as my background for the past 6 months.
What is it that you're using to stream right now? Is that the Zoom platform, or are you using some other kind of software to stream your show?
Oh, we use them.
Zoom. Yeah. A lot of people are using Zoom.
That's what we have to rely on now. Can't personally interact with one.
Yeah.
Well, at least not since COVID started. Did you guys end up finishing your school year doing, Zoom meetings and stuff? Did you do that interactively with your teachers?
We did Zoom meetings like every Monday, sometimes Thursday, to read our creative writing stories. But most of it has been through Google Classroom, and at the end of the year, we learned about some of the Medal of Honor recipients.
Oh, that's very cool.
Dix, Carl Sitter, Jerry Murphy, and I forgot the fourth.
That's neat. That rings true for me because I'm an old Army guy. So I've probably studied all those guys at one time or another.
Wow. So what's your big plans? Where would you like to see your podcast go?
We're just working on it by region by region. We're starting to get it well known in Pueblo, and once we do that, we go to Colorado, and then eventually we'll be in the Rocky Mountain Range. We'll be known in the Rocky Mountain Range.
Yeah. So
That's,
I'm sorry, John. You must be a big fan
no,
of
I said that.
Denver sports.
Oh yeah. From Broncos to Rockies, all sports in Denver I love.
Yeah.
I also like the Los Angeles Dodgers as well, because that was my dad's favorite team before the Rockies came about.
Yeah. So, John, I gotta name drop this real quick if you don't mind.
Not at all.
So I do a show as well, and we had Walker Buehler on, the starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Wow.
What do you think about him?
Yeah. and next year he's gonna be the best pitcher in the league. That's my prediction for him.
Yeah.
He used to be just a draft pick in 2015 to now the ace for the Dodgers, and then future he's gone, and then like next year he's gonna be the top pitcher in the whole league.
Yeah. He certainly got the smarts. You know, he went to Vanderbilt. Matter of fact,
That's where the second overall pick of, or I mean the fifth overall pick, sorry, of the MLB draft went. Infielder and outfielder Austin Martin.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
He's into that stats. It's interesting, William, but that's, the way that Jack just described them growing the show is not too dissimilar from the way that you did things, getting started, kind of locally and then growing regionally. And Jack, I can tell you from the success that William's had, he's traveled all over the country now, live streaming shows for various events and things like that. And he's getting ready to work on trying to expand. Right now he focuses on primarily high school sports here in Kentucky, but he's done stuff all over the place. So it's a great business to be in.
Yes, it is.
Where do you see a little crossover between your love for analytics and sports in general and your playing sports? Do you think there's a little crossover there, or is it more just the playing sports are really just an athletic pursuit and it's totally separate from, what you like to do with numbers and analytics and stuff?
Well, they are actually very similar. Since COVID-19 started, we have not had a chance to get too many sports in, like football, baseball, basketball. But we have found other sports, including Korean baseball, and most recently, New Zealand sports.
What did you think about the announcement? I'm sorry, go ahead.
There
Jack.
were for the past 3 weeks in New Zealand, there have been 0 positive cases, which is great.
Yeah.
So have they started having? Go ahead, William.
I was just going to say, have you had an opportunity to watch some of those other sports like Korean baseball, for example, or Taiwan's got a really good baseball league going on right now?
I've been watching Korean baseball in my room and some other things like Sports Center and all that, just to catch up on the sports world, so I could take that and.
Yeah.
What did you think about the development today with Commissioner Manfred proposing, having had his conversation with the Players Association rep, and that looks like they may actually get back to playing baseball? What do you think about that situation?
Yes, please. No matter how many games they play, I just want baseball back.
Amen.
I think there's a whole lot of people that agree with you on that one, Jack. I don't think baseball as a sport and as individuals did themselves a whole lot of favor bickering over all the money and everything, but it looks like they're going to be able to, hopefully come back in July. We'll see what happens. I know, the NBA's made inroads. Obviously, the NHL has as well. I want to go back to something I saw, and I can't remember. You've had a couple of big name people on there, but I think, was it Carl Mecklenburg that you had on early on, Jack?
Yeah, that was our either third or fourth show. The first 2 were Rams defensive end Morgan Fox and WWE wrestler Colt Cabana.
Oh, nice.
So Carl Mecklenburg was a start. That's like how he got known over different areas wherever they watch.
Well, go ahead, William.
I was going to say, I'm a big wrestling fan. So how did you get Colt Cabana on?
Well, my dad looks for just many people who he thinks will respond and, many people actually respond that they want to come on the show. So far, I've had 3 wrestlers that were formerly associated with the WWE: Colt Cabana, Carlito, and Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's a pretty good 3.
Sure
That's
is.
impressive.
Sure is. Well, it's kind of
Most
interesting you
recently,
being
we did Vicky
Go ahead.
Guerrero and the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes, Mark Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you reached out? You were talking about Denver sports. Have you reached out to Jacob Tammy yet?
No.
He'd be a good one to come on.
Yeah, he would
I
be,
think
and I
I've
think
heard
he'd be
of him,
amenable
but
to do it too.
I don't know.
Well, he played at UK, right, William?
Yes, he actually lives just down the street from me too. So
Well,
That's cool.
maybe Jack, maybe William could get you a hookup before football season gets going. I tell you what, it's kind of cool that I shared with your dad. My pilot show was a good friend of mine, David Diaz-Infante, who also played for the Broncos. Won 2 Super Bowls as an offensive lineman with them, and it's what we're going to try and do. Using this as a platform is to see if we can't reach out to some of the people that I've worked with and that I know, and get a few more guests to come on. I don't know that I have to look back through my contact list. I don't know that I've got a whole lot of guys that played for the Broncos, but of the football players I know, I'm sure we'll get you a few guys that we could bring on the show. Just out of curiosity, what has been the reaction? Obviously, COVID's interrupted school, and you haven't been able to go face to face either at school or in sports. But what's been the general reaction when you've spoken to friends, either on the phone or doing video chats or whatever? What's the general reaction you get from friends about your podcast?
They actually really like it. There was this one clip when we interviewed Colt Cabana that all of my friends watched, and it was really funny.
What made it funny? Just the conversation, or
what? It was his birthday. About 2 days before the podcast, and he said he turned 11 years old, and I said, I'm 10. In reality, he turned 40.
So he was just being silly.
Yeah.
Where can people find your podcast at?
On YouTube, at the Paradox of Sports podcast. You'll need to find it on. It may take a while to find, but you will find it, and you could watch all my episodes from there.
Jack,
Also,
have you
Facebook
guys
and Twitter.
explored? Oh, okay. Have you guys explored doing the audio portions as well? I mean, are you right now? Are you just posting the recorded podcasts on YouTube? Is that the primary source of viewing?
There isn't really a primary source of viewing. Most people watch it on YouTube, but it can be also viewed on Facebook and Twitter, and hopefully it's gonna skyrocket on Twitter as well, so we will get even more street cred.
That'd be outstanding. I certainly hope so. We'll do everything we can to promote it. And I know that, that as you get more guests and get a little more comfortable and develop your interview style and things like that, it'll also be great. But I got to tell you, you're good behind the mic, man. You look good on camera. You're very well spoken. I think there may be a future. Do you have any kind of interest in going into broadcasting at all?
Yeah, I actually do. If I don't get to I am, which playing professional sports, where if I work hard enough, I maybe will. I also want to be a chef when I grow up, but overall, tech would be the best fit for me, and no matter which tech it is, broadcasting, work with computers and stuff, it just seems actually really fun.
I found your YouTube channel. Let's take a look at it here real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe. Well, I gotta sign in, but I'll make sure I subscribe to that. So which one's the Colt Cabana show?
Episode 6.
So then you go to videos and that's episode 1. Who's this guy?
Oh, that's my Uncle Kevin.
I like the backgrounds on these. It's pretty cool. You kind of have that green screen effect.
It's
I really like that as well. I saw
you have like a different depth that you can go back. Normally, it's about to here to hair.
Yeah.
So you may not be seen all the time if you're just leaning back like this.
So episode 6. Here we go. I'm gonna try to pull this on here real quick.
Okay.
So is this who we're talking about?
Yes.
So how much knowledge do you have about the wrestling?
I know a lot about it. Probably the most into sport I've been into it since I was a baby, because my dad was a fan of wrestling all told since he was a kid.
Yeah.
So he brought it down onto to me, and it's kind of skyrocketed my liking for wrestling.
Now, are you on Twitter too, or other social media, or are you just on YouTube right now?
We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We have our videos on YouTube as well as some peaks of videos on the Facebook and Twitter.
Okay. John, I like this kid.
Yeah, he's awesome. I knew the wrestling would get you. Yeah, do you guys have, Jack? Do you guys have a Twitter account for the show? Is that how you're putting it up?
We do have a Twitter account for the show. We just put it on when we have released a new video, and could just watch it there, and hopefully you like it and follow.
Well, I can't. I got to tell you, I can't always agree with the words he uses. But have you ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V? He's a social media influencer for sure. He owns Vayner Media, and he has several spots that he's put out where he's recommended to guys your age, maybe a little older. I know I saw one where he was talking to a 13-year-old who also does a YouTube channel. And the biggest thing he told him was, and I think it's great advice, he said, do what's fun for you, do what you enjoy, and don't get hung up or caught up in the number of likes or the number of subscribers that you have, but just keep putting out great content. And if it's good for you and people react to it well, you'll grow it organically. I mean, I did 24 podcast episodes in my first season that we did, and we've had good results on the audio side, not so good on the YouTube side. but I'm in it for the long haul. And I'm, William, as a friend of mine and obviously very talented guy doing all the stuff he does with his live stream, was kind enough to offer this medium to be able to do some live stream shows while the pandemic is going on, because, obviously, like you've experienced, there's not a whole lot of content out there to grab right now. So, speaking of that, when school starts back, is that going to be a little harder for you to juggle doing the show when school starts back, assuming that you guys actually go into school in person?
Yeah, it will juggle the content, because when I get home, I have homework to do, and I may not get to watch all like Sports Center stuff like that. So when school starts up, I may be a bit less informational, but I will try my best, and hopefully it is what it is.
That's awesome.
Definitely keep your head in the books, but you could always record Sports Center.
Oh yeah, I've been forgetting to record Sports Center. I haven't recorded Sports Center. I just watch it once.
Yeah, I know it's been kind of weird seeing a lot of the shows where they're doing the interviews, via Zoom or GoToMeeting or other, platforms and stuff like this. Let me ask you this, Jack. Where, you made a comment a little while ago about, maybe if you were lucky and worked hard enough, maybe you could play professional sports. And I think all of us, have had that dream at one point or another, depending on who we are and where we came from. What, with regard to the show, if you're able to continue to grow the show, like you said, beyond, Pueblo and then into the Colorado and then the Rocky Mountains area, what would be your goal in terms of, where you want the show to go? I mean, would you hope to try and get a national following, or is it just more something for fun for the short term?
I'm hoping to go as far as I can, and I may have good shows, I may have bad shows. That won't get in the way of me trying to get our show well known.
That's awesome. That's
Positive
awesome. I think that's
vibe.
a great attitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. And every once in a while you get lucky. The other night, we were able to interview Bronson Arroyo, a former MLB pitcher with multiple different teams. But for me, it was the Red Sox. For 3 years, he spent with the Red Sox, and then he was with the Reds for a number of years in the league for 17 seasons. And he had a dual interest, just like yours, except his was music. So he was playing baseball and was a multi-sport athlete when he was younger, like you. But then he got into playing guitar, and now that he's retired from baseball, he's actually, recording albums and performing and stuff like that. So you never know where it's going to take you. It's good to keep those interests bubbling along with your school while you're going through. And it's nice to hear you say, the priority when you get home is knocking out that homework. Go ahead, William.
I'm just sitting here thinking, if I'm a corporate guy and I'm watching this show tonight, I'm on the doorstep recruiting Jack.
There you go.
This kid knows
Jack,
what he's talking about.
Yeah, and have you always been pretty confident, Jack? Have you always been the kind of person that, I mean, obviously, when you do the stuff I talked about in your bio, where you're doing the math teams and the STEM fair and the spelling bee, those all require a certain amount of nerve, because most surveys that have been done say the number one fear most people talk about is the fear of public speaking. And obviously you don't have that fear. So that's a great thing for anybody, but especially at your age. I mean, have you always been pretty confident talking to friends and teachers and stuff like that?
I have been confident. I don't know why you would just be scared because you're in front of a crowd. You just perform what you can. Hopefully it's liked. And do good.
Well, I'll tell you what, you in addition to doing the podcast and sports and school, you may also have a future as a coach too, because I think that sometimes it takes someone like you with that degree of confidence and competence. Obviously, knowing what you're talking about with sports and doing the research and things like that, to be able to help other people out too, because the vast majority of people, especially adults, are scared to death to talk in front of folks.
Yeah. Adults, I don't know too much about adults because I'm only a kid, but you can always generally tell by the looks they make, if it's happy, sad. That's what I use when I tell how somebody is feeling and what they're scared of and what they're not.
I think that's pretty intuitive. That's pretty intuitive.
I was watching the Netflix today with Garth Brooks this morning before I had to go off and do all these graphics and stuff. But if you think about, this is a guy that performs in front of 100,000 people at times, and he's sitting there and he's telling that it doesn't matter what size the crowd is that he's performing in front of. He's always nervous before he goes on. So, I mean, for you to kind of eliminate that and be able to talk to people in public, that's a pretty special thing, especially at your age.
Yeah. I agree with his stance. You may be nervous at times before the thing, but imagine like some of the cartoon characters say, imagine that everybody is in their underpants and just do what you do.
Just go for it, huh?
Now, do you do video games and things like that too? Play Fortnite or League of Legends or whatever?
Yeah, I play Fortnite and some other video games, and I basically just find things to do during the quarantine.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, playing video games, playing outside.
You play what do you play on the PS4?
I play Fortnite, many sports games, and I also have Apex Legends, which is another game like Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have Ark Survival Evolved, where you just have to survive. And then there are dinosaurs in the game. And
What are you playing it on? Are you playing on computer or are you playing it on PlayStation?
I'm playing it on PS4, and I mainly play it on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But I also play some other games on on the computer. So
I'm gonna get you hooked up with my son Peyton. He plays Fortnite quite a bit on PS4. You guys are same age.
that's cool.
That's awesome. You have another partner. Do you go online and play with folks regularly?
Yeah. Since the new season of Fortnite came out today, I've been playing it for like the whole day and
Yep.
just playing with my friends. And
Brand new battle pass.
the main yeah, I bought that. It's a good way to connect with your friends. Video games is, whether it's Fortnite or sports games or anything like that. It's just good to connect with your friends during this time. And as us
Well,
kids,
it's I'm really old. I'm much older than your dad, and I can tell you because all my kids, my youngest is 26 years old, and growing up, obviously computer games and video games were not nearly as sophisticated as they are now, and I know that we always had rules in the house about you weren't allowed to get on the computer or get on the games until after homework was done, and what's incredible now is that they've got e-games. There are major universities all over the United States now that are offering full scholarships to students for playing e-games. And not to mention the fact that there's a lot of students winning a whole lot of money, playing them professionally as these leagues go. So it's kind of cool that that is a pursuit in addition to sports that you've got. So get Peyton in there. There you go.
There you go. Hey, Jack, meet Peyton. Peyton, meet Jack.
Hey.
He's a Fortnite
Hi, Peyton.
player too.
Nice.
Special guest here.
Special cameo appearance by Peyton.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Cameo.
You guys need to.
There you go.
At each other?
Yeah, you guys need to add each other so you guys can play the new Battle Pass.
All right. What's your user?
I'll type it in chat.
Okay, bet.
He's typing in his chat.
That's cool.
I don't know if I got. I don't even know if I got access to that chat window. I don't ever use it.
Well, Jack, what do
Yeah.
you with regard to where you're going to go next in terms of the podcast? Do you anticipate continuing with the same type format and platform for a while, and then see how it goes once you get back into school, or do you have hopes of going maybe a little bit different direction, maybe doing some live stream like William does with this stuff?
Yeah, that's what I have been thinking about, live streaming the podcast, but I'm planning to do it like this for the rest of for the remainder of the summer. And hopefully when school starts, I'll have to use a different form just in case school gets in the way. So that's my focus.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Peyton, do you have any plans to try and eventually pick up where your dad leaves off, whenever that is? You kind of like doing this kind of stuff that he does?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start doing podcasts and with people 1v1ing each other on Fortnite and all that.
He does a little
That would be
game
cool.
streaming right now.
Yeah.
So he's
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's big on TikTok.
75 followers.
Yeah, he's just started his TikTok and he's already up to 75 followers, man.
I don't stream video games, but maybe I can soon if I have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be another direction you can go, kind of diversify a little bit.
Yeah, the Paradox Gaming.
There you go.
He's
No, I changed my YouTube name to Ovale.
Oh, okay. Well, he was Peyton Gaming 2000 for a while, and he said he changed it just now. But yeah, there's I see you tweeted out, John Davis William. I see where you tweeted us out the show tonight. Appreciate that.
That's cool. Well, Jack, what advice would you have for other people your age, maybe even Peyton, since he's sitting here joining us on this cameo? What advice would you have for friends of yours or any kids that are interested in getting into this kind of thing? I mean, as far as, things that you've learned, things that have been exciting, what kind of advice would you have if you were talking to classmates about maybe starting their own podcast?
Well, advice for pretty much anything. As WWE wrestler Daniel Bryan once said, follow your dreams and your dreams will fight for you.
That's a great quote. I'll tell you what, I am thoroughly impressed with all aspects of the way you've incorporated your interests, your love of sports, your talent, academically with numbers and analytics and things to kind of tie those together and really, produce something that is a lot of fun for you and a lot of people that you're watching. So I'm going to reach out to some of my contacts and see if we can't line up a few folks to do the show. Hopefully you'll get, some more shows in during the summer, at least if school does go back into session in person, and give you a little flexibility to record some more that you can get them lined up. But William, you got anything else you'd like for the young superstar here?
No, definitely don't disconnect after we run the outro and we stop the stream. I'll let you and Peyton connect so you guys can exchange usernames so that you guys can play Fortnite together and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, bet.
Yeah, that'd be
Bet.
cool. That'd be cool. Well, I would love to pretend I understand what you're talking about, but I have no earthly idea. I mean, I grew up in the era of Pong, so I wouldn't even know which end of a PS4 remote was up. But
I
Jack, I
used
want to
to.
tell you. Okay.
He's
Well,
got
Jack, I
them.
want to tell you that I am really impressed with just the collection of skills and talents that you've been able to accumulate at this young age. I wish you all the best. I hope you and Uncle Kevin are able to turn the podcast into something really special beyond where it is right now. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching some of the episodes, and I hope everyone else will too. It's the paradox of sports. And Jack and Uncle Kevin double team. Jack's the host, and Uncle Kevin helps him out. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show today. And we'll continue after we're done to help you promote a little bit and get some folks lined up. But I encourage everybody to check out Jack's show, and then we will be back again next Wednesday with another live show. I want to appreciate and thank William and Peyton for coming on. It was awesome to see you guys. Appreciate the sponsors helping us out and giving us the live feed. And I just want to tell all of our viewers, as I usually do, if you're out there doing good things for the game, make sure you're doing it for the good of the game, and keep your head in the game. And Jack, take care. Be good. Stay on the line.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
See you, Jack. Hey, stay on though. Stay on, but see you
I
as far
will.
as the live stream goes.